that implements a requirements model that essentially ensures the assigned level of risk for each asset is acceptable.
Yeah, what up? I got a 3-hour drive. We're at Comics Roadhouse in Mohegan Sun this weekend for 5 shows starting tonight, and I might be late, Doug, but I'm in traffic right now, and I knew I was going to be on this long drive, so I'm like, all right, instead of listening to music, let me just put on these CISSP videos, these Cissp videos, so I can ingest it into my mind on this long ass trip. And there was one of the topics we were talking about, quantitative and qualitative analysis, or really quantitative analysis, and the formulas that are used in quantitative analysis. And I was thinking back, like, man, there was a few questions that I got wrong because I didn't fully, and I've listened to this shit so many times, man, but there was a few questions that I got, several questions that I got wrong from trying to guess the single loss expectancy and the annualized return, whatever it is, the ARO, the SLE, the ALE, and exposure factor and all that stuff. And now I'm like, damn, I after listening to this so many times, I'm kind of finishing what it is that they're saying in the videos because I get it now. I'm like Lethal Shooter, I get it now. But that's just one of the things that I get. And then we just went over like controls gap, and then after that it was the stride, the threat models for evaluating supply chain management, right? So if you're getting software from a vendor and you want to do threat modeling, you'll do stride, which was of course invented by Microsoft. And I'm thinking, man, this is making sense, and it makes me angry because, again, there were questions that I had earlier on when I was taking these practice questions, and I'm like, damn. So it, like, the stride threat model is spoofing, tampering, repudiation, which repudiation is the ability for a user to deny that they were even trying to do something. So an example to prevent repudiation, or for non-repudiation, you may have, access controls or login or authentication controls, or multi-factor authentication or logging, you know what I'm saying, which is probably the right thing to look at when investigating something. But so repudiation, STRII, information disclosure. And at one point I don't even know what I thought I was, and that might not even be correct. I'm just talking shit like I know this. But then D is denial of service, and then E, elevation of privileges. So I think the right context to use this in is if you're evaluating a software, like I'm always evaluating like a new, and it's not really software, but it might be like a new project that I'm doing. Actually, it would be software. So like, let's say a firewall management system, and I wanted to use the stride method to evaluate the software. I guess it would be like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to this shit, but so spoofing. So can the software be spoofed depending on what it's doing? Can it be tampered with? How do you prevent tampering of the software? How do you how do you make sure there's non-repudiation? Logging. How do you make sure there's information disclosure? Well, is the traffic encrypted when it's going to, pull the firewall logs, or the firewall configs? Is the data at rest encrypted? And you get all those questions answered, and that's how you know whether or not the software is, I guess, good enough for you to use. Where the fuck is I'm going? Alright, let me get over it. Anyway, so information disclosure, denial of service. How do you prevent denial of service? Shit, seriously? That's the way I'm going? I'm going this way. Oh yeah, alright. Denial of service. How do you prevent denial of service on this appliance or on this device? And then elevation of privilege. How do you prevent, a regular user logging in and then, elevating their privileges to get higher privilege so that they can, either take the data or the data at rest or the data in transit? How do you prevent a threat or an attacker from seeing it? So, yeah. Anyway, I got a little long-winded on threat modeling there, but I just wanted to come on and say I'm starting to understand this shit after several attempts of watching and paying attention to these videos, and now I'm starting to get it. I'm thinking back all the test questions I answered incorrectly, and now when I hit those test questions again, hopefully I'll remember. Hopefully I'll remember what it is that I'm supposed to be. Hopefully I'll remember the answers to the questions and get this shit right, because I've been getting 40s, and now I'm trying to, and not the drinks, I'm not talking about the good 40s. I'm not talking about a 40 OE. I'm talking about 40%. High 40s though, it's like 46, 49%. Anyway, I wanted to share that, so that's it. Easy.